Welcome to Cosmic Diaries, and this is Priya Kale, and today I want to talk to you about Venus in Cancer. So, Venus rules love, relationships, money, finances, your values, the things and the people you value. Venus represents your creativity, and the movements of Venus in the sky will represent what's going on in these areas of your life. So when Venus is moving through the sign of Cancer, and when it comes to love, yes, Venus does relate with personal love. Neptune is unconditional love. Venus is about personal love and personal relationships. But this does not necessarily mean only your relationship with a significant other, but how you share love with all your one to one relationships and with everyone you meet, how you share your heart, how you relate, really. So, Venus moving through Cancer, we're going to see the themes of Cancer come up in when it comes to love and money. And then, depending on where you have Cancer in your chart, in your solar chart as per your sun sign, or then as per your natal chart, that's where you're going to see this transit manifest the most. And I don't want to confuse you if you're not into astrology enough to understand what I mean when I say natal chart, but as you watch the videos, you will start to pick it up, and depending on what part of your chart Venus is moving in or where Cancer is in your chart, that's where you're going to see this transit manifest the most and where you can gain most from it. So when it comes to relationships, matters of the heart, and money, we're more focused right now on finding a sense of security. But this also means that we rise above our insecurities and allow this energy to flow, because it is water energy and it's cyclical. So we have to understand that there is an ebb and flow to life and to nature, whether it's money, whether it's love. Right now, we have to understand the cycles and be willing to flow with the cycles and not push against the tide. And like with any transit, there's infinite potential. It holds infinite potential and it can manifest in an infinite number of ways. So, what I'm giving to you now are just a few of the ways that a transit can manifest. And that's why I'm trying to get down to the essence of the transit so you can apply it more practically. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to try something new and do a run through of Venus's transit in Cancer for all the 12 signs. So it's going to be like a mini horoscope for you for this entire transit from the period from now, July 18th to August 12th. So an important thing to look at when Venus is transiting through Cancer, or if you have a Venus in Cancer placement, this is very loving energy. This is very emotional energy. It's very sentimental. It's a very sentimental placement and transit. Cancer rules the mother, the child. So there's a sense of wanting to protect and care for the ones we love. But the balance always here is, how do we love another without becoming their parent? Unless, of course, you are a parent. But when it comes to your relationships with equals, your peers, or people that you love, how do you love without smothering someone, even if you are a parent? How do you love without smothering someone, but you use that Cancer energy where your love becomes a nourishing aspect, where it's not about need, because Cancer can, on the downside, be needy, like a child. But in understanding that when it comes to love, especially in your personal relationships, no one can fulfill your needs and no one can complete you. You're already whole. So love at best is an overflow of your being, because this is Cancer, water energy. So it's when your heart is full of love, Venus is also the heart, that it can overflow into everything that you do in all of your relationships. And especially now, as we if you're watching this in 2014, especially now as we move to the end of July, Venus is going to be making an opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. And we've been learning a lot of lessons with Pluto and Capricorn as part of this whole Grand Cross that has dominated the first half of 2014. So it's a final moving forward from those lessons to create something new, to break old patterns. And it's a huge opportunity to be able to break through old patterns. On a global front, I was not planning to talk about this, but we are seeing so much death and destruction and war in the name of God knows what. And with Venus making that opposition to Pluto, it really is asking us, and in a new moon cycle with a new moon in Leo, this is really a call to action in terms of having the courage to stand up for yourself and stand up for humanity in whatever small way that you can. We can't allow, we can't just stop. It's easy to feel helpless in the face of the enormity of what's going on in this world. But only love can move us forward. And that's this message of Venus in Cancer. And in your personal relationships as well, especially with the opposition to Pluto at the end of the month, this is really asking for a conscious letting go of all your conditioning surrounding what a relationship should look like. Consciously look at your parents' relationships or the dynamics you saw played out in your childhood, and how you don't want to repeat those patterns, but how in trying to maybe perhaps unconsciously avoid those patterns, you are recreating the very situation that you're trying to avoid. It's a very subtle process because it's an opposition to Pluto. Pluto works in the shadows. It's very subtle. It's very unconscious. So it requires a conscious focus. And then only when you acknowledge something can you change it. So look at your attachments. The more you can let go of your attachments, a situation can evolve as it's supposed to. And of course, also look at any given point, whether it's your money or whether it comes to your relationships. It's a new moon cycle in Leo, so it's about the self, having self-awareness. Look, Leo is creative energy. Venus is also creative energy. So how are you allowing things to become, how are you being a creative force in your life? What are you feeding? Because what you feed is what will grow. So are you feeding drama? Are you feeding your insecurities? Are you feeding a sense of lack? Or are you nurturing something so it can grow? Whether it's money, whether it's love, whatever abundance you feel you need. And really, the big lesson here is if you have a roof over your head, and if you can, and that's saying a lot these days, I know that. I'm aware of that. If you have a roof over your head, if you have 2 meals to eat a day, you can consider yourself lucky in today's world. Because there are a lot of people who are struggling for even that. But still the message here is the lilies do not toil, and what you need will be provided for. All you need to do is be conscious of how you are managing the resources and the energy you have been given consciously, so you can create what you need in your life or open up the channels to receive what you need in your life. So that's the general Venus in Cancer transit. The last word, Venus in Cancer, consciously rising above insecurities, coming out of your shell, allowing your emotions to flow, and having a sense of balance where your emotions, Mars is in Libra right now, which is ruled by Venus. So it's about a balanced emotion, whether it comes to your relationships or your money or your creative energy. if you're feeling panicked, you're not going to make the right choices. If you're feeling insecure or needy, you're going to act in from a place of lack, and that's what you're going to feed. So flow with this energy.